Okay, we have one person joining us so far, so.
Hello, one person.
Yes, hello, one person. We're so glad you joined us. Oh no, there's more. I see more
There
people.
are more. There's more people popping in with us.
Oh my God, we need to get our banter on, Kevin. Great. Well, Kevin, we were talking earlier about Tommy Wells's the keynote and how inspiring that was. Well, I was really, the whole idea of having to sort of divide up the public realm for different transportation, and the public realm is has so much more impact now. I mean, in this day and age of Black Lives Matter and things like that, it's having a public space is really important. What were your thoughts on Tommy's keynote?
I learned so much, Mary, by listening to his presentation. Just one example was just how everything's so integrated. He pointed out how if you don't have trees in an area, that's going to affect the temperature in an area. And if you don't have the resources, you can't really escape that area. So you're just trapped there, suffering more than other people,
Right.
basically in the same community. And it was interesting to see how all of those elements contributed to make it so that some people basically don't have the same opportunities as other people in the same community.
Right. And you saw, if you know the map of Washington, the Ward 8 was much hotter than Ward 3. I mean, that's you can sort of look at that economically as well. So we have some work to do in our city, and I'm glad Tommy's there to help us out with that.
Yeah, he seems pretty vested. You know, one thing that I really appreciated too is he showed how you can direct activity based on what you design in that space. So he showed how if you have a building without trees or potted plants or welcoming benches, it sends a message, and windows that you can't see through.
Right.
It sends a message to people to just move quickly through this area.
Right.
But if you have windows that you can see through, then people on the inside can see you. You see people from the other side, and you feel safer, and you feel more like hanging out. And so he showed those different pictures, and it was really clear to me that so much depends on the design in terms of whether or not people want to stay in a space or just move along.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see John Pendorf's talking to your clients about resiliency at all?
I love that. I loved it because we work with a lot of builders, and they share with me that he did the survey that said what pushback do you get from your owners, and for many of them it was cost.
Yeah.
And so we work with a lot of builders, and the builders tell me the exact same thing. It's like, if you're building a big commercial building, you get LEED certification. There's other ways to justify the cost, but as a homeowner, you don't get any additional appraised value in your property for including a lot of the sustainable products. And so his explanation of, okay, don't doomsday them.
Yeah.
You gotta find products that provide other benefits.
Yeah, well, it's all about hope. And I just thought that statistic he had, that it costs you 50% more to fix it if you do it wrong than if you just built it right to begin with. And if you can show that, I mean, that would tell me to do the right thing from the outset.
That was an excellent point, and it just goes to the pocketbook also, right? If it's 50% more to rebuild it, why not invest a little bit more upfront and design in some of these sustainable things? I really loved how he explained also the resiliency. He used that illustration of the rubber band. He said you can't design and accommodate for everything, right? That's not realistic, but you can accommodate for for both shocks and I forgot the other one. One was impact was shock, and that was like a hurricane. It just came all at once, and you have to deal with that. But there were other things that were more systemic. They were gradual. So with great design of resiliency, your project is better able to deal with both of those impacts.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and just seeing all the ways that you can use all of these different features like lead and rely and fit well, and all of these things are kind of working together in some ways to make buildings much more resilient to what's coming our way. So, and I always love Marilyn Mandel, because Marilyn Mandel reminds you about the importance of thank you, and and that reminds me that I need to thank you, Kevin, and also all of our other sponsors and exhibitors that have been working with us, that took this leap of faith. And it's just we really appreciate all that you're doing for us, because we couldn't do this crazy activity without you. As I said before everyone got on, though, I really am missing the hors d'oeuvres and the drinks.
It's so true.
Get those out. So,
that's the one thing that you're going to get 100% agreed.
Year, Yeah.
Hopefully we will.
Yeah.
Besides the handwritten thank you notes from Marilyn, was there anything else that she said that jumped out at you?
Well, I'm a big writer of thank you notes. Every person who gives to the foundation, I write a thank you note to. And sometimes that can be overwhelming, but it also is this sense of, you really do sit there and feel gratitude. I mean, you really sit there for a minute and really thank that person, rather than, here, I'm going to send out 25 emails. But I loved her idea that you'd have a to-do list for, how to get it done, because we're always putting together little manuals for everything that we do in the office, because who can keep this in your head anymore? You have to go back and look that up. So I thought that was really helpful. And I just, I think I was shocked that people only read one book a year. I'm like going through 3 or 4 all the time. So, but I think she had a good idea about keeping up with what people are thinking about for the future. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that was a great one. One thing that I thought she did a nice job. So if you didn't get to see it, I would go back and watch it, is she really lays out how to start to implement things in your business that can make a meaningful difference from the marketing perspective, in terms of how you structure your outreach messages, and focusing on just one thing in your broadcast or your email, not multiple things. It was very to the point that I thought, even if you didn't know a lot about marketing, if you watch that video and save it and we'll go back a couple times, you're going to have a really great guide to help you to start to implement some really great strategies.
Yes, Kevin, someone is asking us, is this the wrap up? Yes, you have arrived in the correct spot. We are doing the wrap up. It's me and Kevin bantering back and forth about everything that happened today. So,
maybe they're disappointed and she's thinking, where's the real wrap up?
I know, where are the drinks? Everybody's looking for the drinks. Well, the other thing that I learned from Marilyn, and this is something I do need to implement. We are logo happy at AIADC. We will design a new logo for every darn thing. And when she talked about the logo police, I think, they need to come for me, because I think we need to tone down all the design work we've been doing and keep it to a few maybe. But I got to see also the great presentation about Berry Farms, and the really inspiring work of these folks that are doing some work on making sure to preserve affordability, and yet do some net zero building in that affordability too, because that's really amazing to be able to do that.
That one, I think that was when I was doing my CEU course. So tell me can you share with me maybe one other point from that one?
Well, I mean, this was a historically, it had been I think a public housing area that had fallen into disrepair, and they've turned it around. I mean, it was built in the 1940s, and they've turned it around to be really really energy efficient, and you know, one of the problems with affordable housing is you really need, for families, you really need places with lots of bedrooms, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, and this is really going to offer that. But just looking at the green space and how they were going to help out, you know, how they were going to deal with all the stormwater management and everything. But it's beautiful. It's like you were talking about, that the buildings that have the plants outside that look very welcoming, and instead of telling you, no, you're not welcome here, this is all going to be a wonderful area. They're also able to bring a new grocery store to an area that has a food desert. So
fantastic.
It's a wonderful project. So I encourage people who did not get to see that to actually log in. And this is the great thing about DesignDC 2020. You can have it all. And I hope that you all are thinking about going and visiting our trade show floor, because, you know, you can have a one-on-one with the vendors there. You can also see a lot of videos. There was some really interesting products there. Like, I saw this this stuff. Guardian Glass has this amazing stuff for that looks like clear glass to us, but to birds it looks striped, so you have less bird death. I guess it's saving the birds, and not so many bird strikes. So lots of really interesting things. And I know your company, AGS Stainless, has something that's you were showing a particular new product. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So first, I'll say on the Guardian product, I've reached out to them because railings are out front and center on projects, and clear glass, that is definitely an issue for birds. And so we're excited about working with them with that product. But for us, AG Stainless, we're a custom railing manufacturer. And what we've really tried to do with our newest product, Cascadia, is create a stainless product that doesn't require custom design work. The purpose behind that is to bring the cost of stainless down. So custom design work, that is unfortunately what kicks the price of stainless up on most projects. So we've got a great product where we've taken the parts of the project that require custom design work, and we made those pieces adjustable so they can be adjusted on site.
Great.
And then the builder, the contractor, will just fabricate a wood top rail. So great product. Price very similar to aluminum. So stainless, big, huge visual impact. Aluminum's a functional product, but you just don't find aluminum on the front of Sub-Zero refrigerators, right? If there's a metal on the front of a high-end appliance, it's stainless. So with this product, you get that visual impact, but it's priced where a lot of project owners and designers are going to be happier, because it's priced more like an aluminum product. So we're excited.
Oh,
and
great.
I had a great time looking around at some of the other exhibitors. So, and you know, the chat thing too, if you get a chance tomorrow, go on and do the chat, because all the exhibitors have their top people standing by ready to answer questions. And we had a lot of fun with chat today.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that people are really looking at that too, because we've got these fabulous prizes I get to give out tomorrow, and a lot of people are doing the scavenger hunt. So that's a great way to go through the exhibit hall as well.
Yeah, we did something kind of similar live last year.
Yeah,
where you go around, and that was really fun. So we're excited about this. That was actually, I think, one of the best ways to get to know the exhibitors was the scavenger hunt. So it's working the same here virtually.
Yeah, well, I was looking at one of our questions here about whether that marketing video, Marilyn Mendel's marketing guide, was available, and yes, all of it is recorded. We recorded it. Even this portion will be you know, available to you for 3 months if you want to come back to it. Just it's so strange to think about it this way, because, you know, DesignDC is usually this, you know, this everybody gets in, does their classes, gets out. You know, we have some great parties and great interactions, but it's over. And for the staff, it always seems like it's over in 30 seconds. We've been planning for it for the whole year, and poof, it's over with. But this one, you can come back to the trade show. You can come back and look at all of the sessions again. I mean, I have to get my AICP credit as a planner, so I'm going to come back through and do another couple of courses that I wouldn't have gotten to today because everything was concurrent. So that works out really nicely.
I would say too, Mary, that one of the challenges if you are running a business is you could be sitting there fully engaged in the presentation, but then real life kicks in and
Right.
you got to go take care of your business. But here, you don't miss anything. You can go take care of whatever it is and come back and you haven't missed one word because it's all recorded.
Right, and I think a lot of people are, you know, we really appreciate everybody joining us in these more live sessions for the next 2 days. But, you know, it's Zoom is a lot to handle. Don't you feel that you know, when you're in a conversation in a room across from somebody, you can sort of bounce off each other and get a lot of energy from each other. But Zoom sort of sucks it right out of you. So, you know, in this format, you can go back when you have when you have a moment and you don't have to be overburdened by it, and can do it, you know, over the weekend or at 4 in the morning when you can't sleep, and come back down and talk to us, right?
Yeah, and you can also just go ahead and grab your glass of wine.
Exactly.
When you're sitting there, with the event non-happy hour, and you have your glass of wine, you'll get the cross look. But here, there's no cross look. You can watch the presentation, enjoy your Cabernet, and everybody's good.
Yeah, and we have a happy hour coming up tomorrow. I may have to pour myself a glass, although I have to give out the fabulous prizes, so I have to have my wits about me. We have more questions in the Q&A. What about next year? Oh, well, what about next year? Does anybody know? You know, we'll see where we're going. We hope it's in person, but the recordings are good too. Yeah, we think that the recordings are really helpful too. We're very interested in this because it does give people opportunity and does give people a lot of flexibility. I think, you know, next year we might still be a little bit leery of being all together. So we might do a little bit in person. One of the things we were going to try to do this year was actually have Tommy Wells in the center and, physically distance people so that some people could actually be in the room with them. But we're still in phase 2. That was going to be too complicated, and I don't want to endanger anybody. So we went through so many, how many different ways we could do all this. So we're just pleased as punch that y'all came and that our vendors were willing to take this leap with us as well. So
hey, I would say too, Mary, because I've done a number of these now, that we're all going to learn from all of these events that we've done in the last few months. So whatever component of virtual happens next year, it's going to be best practices because we've all been working out the kinks over the last few months.
Yeah. We've all been doing a lot of learning, that's for sure. So somebody says that we should use the center for a reception and then do the content on like this online. Oh, wouldn't that be a hoot? We could do the last session. Actually, everybody come on down to the center, and then we can be together. That would be great. That's
a great idea.
Something really to look forward to. But I guess for you, Kevin, you're in Seattle. I don't know that everyone knows this, but he's in Seattle right now. So you didn't have to haul yourself all the way across the country to see us. And so how is that? I mean, I guess you're really used to traveling a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, I love coming to DC. It's one of my favorite places to visit. So that's a disappointment. I would have loved to come out there. But just in terms of providing access. You know, I sent out a message to about 35,000 architects to let them know that that they can watch this recorded beginning 2 days from now.
Mhm.
How could we have done that before,
Yeah.
right? They're like the points that Tommy pointed out, and some of those points that we've been discussing, those could benefit architects practicing anywhere in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's a trade-off. So yeah, I didn't get to go hang out in Georgetown and go to my favorite little places, but in terms of access, I think we're on to something here, because I think this is going to give a lot broader audience the opportunity to learn from this great group that you guys curated. This is a great content-rich event,
Yeah, it
Mary,
really
that you
is.
guys put together.
Yeah, it really is. And we had it kind of planned as that way before March 17th and the whole world changed. Well, it's looking like we are at the end of our time, and I want to, I want to thank everybody who's come to visit with us right now, and I want to thank all of our sponsors and all of our exhibitors. But I'd also like you all to give a virtual hand clap to the staff who has really worked hard today to make this all come off. So thanks to all my great staffers who have done just a great job. Now get out there and do it again tomorrow. So tomorrow starts with you, Kevin, telling us everything up to date. And what time does that start?
That's a really good question. I should have written that down. Hopefully I will know before tomorrow.
Katie, can you come on and tell us when we start tomorrow?
Yep, sure thing. Kevin, I'll see you tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. That's when we'll go live. You wanna come
Eastern,
Eastern
8:45
time.
Eastern,
Time. Yes.
Oh my
which is-
Lord, you have
which
to
is
start at
midnight for me.
Everybody show up with a cup of coffee to get his
Absolutely, two.
Well, thank you all so much for coming today, and we really appreciate you coming to DesignDC, and thank you, Kevin. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Mary.
Bye-bye.
See you, Katie. Bye, everyone.